Hey there, friends. So by popular request today, I am going to share with you 5 habits that I do each day to help my anxious mind. So I have really bad anxiety. I always have. My partner and I both do. And so it's been a constant struggle to find things, little things that help out with that, because as you know, if you have anxiety, it is kind of like a leaning tower. One little thing goes wrong and it all starts piling on, and you start feeling like it's something you're trapped in and something you can't fix. But there are a few little things that I like to do every single day, and these really may be things that you've heard a million times, that people have told you are cure-alls, that this will help, this will totally save your anxiety. But no, in my opinion, they're just little habits to help the anxiety from getting to be just a monster that's too much to handle. So if you are in the mood to take little steps to kind of help that, then I definitely implore that you try these out, even if you've heard them a million times over. And it's also important to keep in mind that when I say these things, I'm not listing something that you can't do in 5 minutes or less and still get the benefit from it. So the first thing that I like to do when I wake up is write a list. This does not necessarily have to be a to-do list. It could be a list of your worries. It could be a list of the things that are making you happy that day. It could be a list of things that you have to do. Whatever the case, write something out. When you're able to focus on writing something on paper and listing something out, not only can it bring clarity to that situation. If you are writing a to-do list, it could bring clarity to, you know, all right, I can do this. I can handle what's on that list. It can also just organize things in your mind. It can organize priorities, goals for the day. Even if you are just writing 5 or 6 sentences of stream of consciousness, writing stuff out can kind of bring forth that focus and take it off the things that are, you know, starting to creep into your mind so early in the morning, the stressors. So I definitely recommend writing each day, 5 minutes. To-do list, your shopping list, your hopes and dreams, your worries, whatever the case, put it on paper. Don't type it, physically write it down. That has really helped me. So next, it's meditation. Now, if you're someone who's like, I have tried meditation over and over, it does not work for me, then allow me to rephrase that and say breathing. Taking a few minutes out of each day to really focus on your breathing, to really pay attention to it and try to drown everything else out, can really regulate you, like your heart rate. It can bring you down from anxiety. Focusing so intently on something that isn't what's freaking you out or what could freak you out, or what's too much or whatever the case, can really help bring you down. And breathing is just as important as training our body and our mind. You're training your breath. So for me, I like to sit and take a deep breath in through my nose and then let it out through my mouth, and do that several times while counting like 1, 2, and I just do that for a few minutes. If I can't empty my mind, I'll let it just go ham, but as long as I'm focusing on the breath and gently redirecting my mind back to it, I can find myself enter a state of calm. And this is something that I can call on when I feel myself getting anxious, and we all recognize the signs in our bodies as we're starting to feel overwhelmed, so that can definitely help. I try to do that every single day. Another thing is go outside. It does not have to necessarily be a long walk or exercise. You can just sit on your back porch for 5 minutes and allow the sun to touch you, or allow the cool air or the rain or whatever the case. Being outside can really help kind of bring you down if you're finding that you're in a state of panic. It's also just a great thing to remind yourself to do. There are days where honestly getting out of bed can be something that you are congratulating yourself for. Just eating is important. I mean, like, there are times where these are things that you cannot bring yourself to do them, and it's fine. Be gentle with yourself. But if you're able to try to get outside for a little bit of time every day to kind of help prevent that anxiety and give yourself a good space to be able to, you know, to tackle it when it does come. Another thing that I would recommend, and something I do every day to help with my anxious mind, is declutter. Does not have to be your entire house. I'm not talking about spring cleaning, scrubbing the corners. I'm talking about looking at the immediate space that you are in most that day. Maybe that's out by the couch. Maybe that's in your bedroom. Maybe that's, you know, in your office. Whatever the case, look at that space and take 5 minutes to declutter. just pick some stuff up. You don't have to wipe down things. Just remove things from that space, because sometimes when we're entering into these spaces, we're spending a lot of time in. When we're not seeing the clutter on there, then the clutter of our mind can sometimes be eased. So declutter your space that you're spending time in most that day. And then last but certainly not least, give yourself some time to disconnect from technology, from the TV. Give yourself some time just with yourself, whether you're writing during that or doing art or reading a book or whatever the case. Disconnect from social media primarily for just a little bit of time every day. This may not apply to you, and you may be somebody that totally leaves, social media alone. But for a lot of us, it's something that is constantly within grasp. And especially right now where things can be very overwhelming in the news, being able to disconnect for an hour or so, or hell, even 5 minutes a day is very, very important. I definitely recommend that if you're like me and you're kind of constantly checking in with social media, I try to do an hour a day. But this list is just essentially to remind you. You'll find that the more that you think about these 5 things and implementing them, the more they're going to become habits for you, and the more it's going to be easier to expand on them. 5 minutes can become 10 minutes, which can become 15. If you're doing it over a long period of time, that habit makes it easier to do it for longer. So if you have an anxious mind like mine, those are my 5 tips and tricks each day that I try to do to kind of regulate that anxiety and help me better prepare for stressful situations when they do arise. So I hope this has been helpful. I am going to be continuing the anxiety and different depression sort of series in the next few weeks. So this is just kind of dipping a toe into some, stressful mind techniques. But if you are interested, please make sure to subscribe. It is always fantastic chatting with you all, and I can't wait to talk more. Thanks, everybody.